Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and bees of all ages, welcome to the Corporate Esports Association League of Legends League. My name is Fennec, joined on the desk today, as always, by the lovely Thousand Eyes, and we are in I believe, our last week of the regular season here of the Swiss system between Amazon Rainforest, Gap, and Raytheon Apollo. Thousand, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm excited. We got some pretty solid level of play going on in these games. So I am ready to go, ready to get into this draft and ready to see how this game works out.
And a little bit of background on these two teams, on the two companies they're in. On the blue side for this game, it is going to be a best of one this week, and it's going to be Raytheon Apollo. They're an aerospace company, and all of the players here work in the East Coast offices. So, fellow East Coasters, heart goes out to you. 4 p.m. over here, it already feels like it feels like noon because of freaking daylight savings. But it is 4 p.m. Got plenty of the day left in us, and we'll see how that works out. Anyway, they all work at, once again, Raytheon Apollo, which is an aerospace company based all over the place, but they all work in the East Coast offices, and they are supporting Geeks Rule, which is a charity that helps bring STEM education to underprivileged areas and underserved students, which I think is really, really awesome as someone who works in IT or is looking to work in IT, and of course, Thousand also works in IT as well, or programming or computer science. I'm not exactly sure how to describe that. Anyways, this team mostly, or this team, they have a couple of players that have come in from previous seasons. Jinja, Ninja Power, Double Rep, and Kingmaker have all filled in since the season, or since taking a season off for Raytheon Apollo, and they will have a sub in today in their bot lane in Tapa. And they say all their one tricks are going to be banned out. Thousand, what are we looking for those picks as we are about to get in a draft, actually?
Yeah, so we've got a couple of one tricks going on here. We've got a Rengar top lane. We've got a Vel'Koz in the mid that is very highly rated. We have we have a lot of different like the Lilia, the Graves, the Hecarim, like the pretty bog standard stuff and other ones. There's a lot of Bard for Ginger Ninja Power, which I am very much excited to see. Amazon is no slouch though for the one tricks though either, because they have a very much very high played Yone in the mid lane. The Garen in the top lane is pretty much just a one trick, so there is a lot here that you can look to see getting banned out specifically.
And I'm excited to see what exactly gets banned out, and if we see any of these one tricks, right? The Garen, the Rengar, as you already mentioned. We see the Vel'Koz being banned out, as well as the Ezreal and the Vayne. So, already targeting those target bans are Amazon Rainforest Gap. Speaking of, they are, of course, of Amazon, and in the words of their captain, Amazon is pretty huge. Their team members work in different parts of the company, although their captain was not sure as to where, so I can't really talk too much about that. But they are supporting Give Directly, which is a organization that provides direct cash relief for U.S. households impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. And they say look at the bot lane for most of the action. So we'll see if that ends up being the case, as we are back into the picks and bans, though. Alistar banned away, as well as Rengar and Seraphine. So the Thresh is the first pick with the Hecarim follow-up by Amazon Rainforest Gap.
Yeah, so Amazon, I'm kind of surprised to see the Thresh. That's not one that Ginger Ninja Power had very highly played. But as far as the bans go, pretty standard stuff. The Ezreal being Logic's top played character. The Vel'Koz and Rengar we talked about. The Seraphine is just still really strong as a champion. Tristana being picked up, she has popped up in priority, not just as a mid laner, but also as an AD carry. She's been kind of going back towards the bot lane, but been basically in that top 4 of 80 carry picks between Jin, Kaisa, and oh, why am I blanking on the other one?
Jin, Kaisa.
Kaisa. There's
See,
another
now
one
I'm
that I'm not
blanking as
thinking of.
well.
Yeah. I mean, so
You're
there
you're
is
you're, you're the bot lane
Sivir,
player.
Sivir is the other one.
Sivir,
Yes.
there
So
we go.
yeah, Rek'Sai Sivir being picked up here, looking to get a lot of speed here to help Rek'Sai get into those fights.
Yeah, Pantheon being hovered. Might be Pantheon, might be Leona. We'll see. It's gonna be the Leona
Yeah.
in the bot lane. Most likely pairing with the Tristana. Regardless, Leona's a good pick into the Thresh. It's one of the more traditional, even bot lanes, I would say. As both have quite a bit of counter initiation for the other. So you just kind of sit back and see how that one plays out. But with Tristana, the more aggressive of the two bot laners, I would expect that one to be slightly favored for Amazon Rainforest Gap in terms of early game. Gnar being banned out, though, for the top side of the map.
Yeah, it's interesting here. So I like the switch to the Leona because I think picking Pantheon into a Sivir is kind of a trap. You've got the spell shield from Sivir that'll stop your stun from going through. Leona can get spell shielded on the E or the Q, can't be both. So there is a little bit of extra ability to get onto her. Traditionally, Thresh is a counter to Leona as long as you're quick on the flay, but there is room for mistakes on that. Like you said, the Gnar being taken away, the Garen taken off the board as well, away from Brandahoy. Diana has been rising in popularity in mid lane. Very, very strong at that level 6 point, skirmishing very, very effectively. And I'm waiting for the day when that hits, a pro game and players start picking that up because I think that champion is a lot stronger than people give it credit for.
You know, as much as I would love for pros to pick up Diana, that would mean that Diana gets picked in my solo queue games. And as an Anivia player, I don't ever want to see Diana in my solo queue games, regardless Syndra being picked up by Amazon Rainforest Gap. As Raytheon Apollo to pick their solo lanes. I mean, I was told they might pick Teemo this game. Perhaps. Although Camille's already been picked up, so they're not going to pick Teemo, but they might. They won't. But they might. But they probably won't.
Yeah,
It's
no,
Galio
just
in the
go
mid
with
lane.
Galio. Yep. Yeah,
I don't
they
like
have
this in the
advantage.
Syndra. I don't like Galio into Syndra.
I mean, Galio into most things is not like fun. Like, let's be honest. There's only a few matchups where Galio like genuinely like wins the lane. It's not his job to do that. He just gets big enough where he can show up around the map and be enough of a front line while also putting out the damage. The Volibear gonna be picked up here in for the top lane. Have seen a little bit of Volibear jungle coming up, but this is not what that's gonna be. Just going up against that Camille, and that one really should be something that Yoshi should be able to punish here. Volibear really enjoys those elongated fights, and Camille can kind of just pick and poke with the Q, get that precision protocol charged up, and just get that big auto attack and back off. So that is going to be a bit of a rough matchup in the top side here. As far as other lanes go, I'm excited to see the Rek'Sai. I'm excited to see what possible build this could be. I've seen a lot of Prowler's Claw on Rek'Sai recently, and I think one thing that I've really kind of thought a lot about is just how Olaf has still been very, very favored in the jungle still, despite the nerfs to Gordrinker and to Olaf himself. Rek'Sai, I think, just is a better version of Olaf currently. She clears just about as well, a little bit slower. She has just as strong early game ganks, and that one item power spike, I think, is stronger than Olaf's right now. Plus, I think she scales a little bit better into the later points of the game.
Agree with you there. I think Rek'Sai is kind of being slept on, but we have seen her. Not necessarily as much in pro play, but in higher level amateur play. She's been getting picked up quite a bit. Plat and above. Plat being higher level here, but still, she's been
Mm-hmm.
getting picked quite a bit. I think that this is a good pick. I think into the hack room, that's also pretty good. I think when it comes to fighting in the 1v1, I think Hakarum won't be able to just invade and kill the enemy jungler. I think Rek'Sai won't be able to do the same. You're going to be looking for ganks and counter ganks from both these junglers around level 3, level 4. Most likely towards their strong lanes, which we see strong lanes on the opposite sides of the map here. Raytheon Apollo kind of focusing towards that Camille on the top side, typically considered a weak side top laner, but when you're into a Volibear, that is a Camille favored matchup. And when you look on the bottom side, they have a weak side bot lane. Well, AMZN Rainforest Gap has a strong side with the Tristano Leona. What I'm interested to see is how the mid laners will play into this one. Galio into Syndra, as we kind of mentioned, not a great lane for Galio, but at the same time, if you take something like the Predator or the Unsealed Spellbook, can put a lot of actually early pressure onto this top lane if he wants to, and Syndra is not a bad roamer herself.
Yeah, I mean, it's also worth noting Yoshi did opt to avoid the flash, going for the TP Ignite, really looking to win lane very hard on that. And like you said, the roam potential from Galio is going to be big. The 4-man bot with the Sivir ult, getting Galio in position can be very, very important. Syndra, her goal is going to be able to win that gate or win that lane, get strong enough that she can then show up a little bit later to fights and blow somebody up.
Yeah, and that somebody's got to be the Sivir, right? You can't really blow up a Galio, you can't really blow up a Rek'Sai, you can't really blow up a Camille as the Syndra, as they all have different ways to deal with that. However, Sivir, you got to be careful about the spell shield, right?
Mhm.
You have to know to play around that, which I mean, at this level, they should. Right? But Sivir has a little bit of inbuilt safety. They have quite a bit of peel with the Galleon and the Thresh. It's going to be difficult for Cinder to find those positions in the fight. So look to see if Decker's actually able to get those flanks off alongside Multitasker on the Hecarim. As we are almost finished with the spectator delay, what do you think of each of these comps as far as who do you think is stronger in what stages of the game?
I mean, especially in the mid game, Raytheon has the advantage here. They've got the really strong Galio. The Sivir will hit that. It depends on what build the Sivir goes. If it is that Duskblade Sivir, then it is going to be a very strong mid game kind of pokey um, type of champion. And then
It's
you've
not
got
Duskblade
the
Sivir.
it
She's
is
got
not Duskblade. Yeah, she's got the
lethal.
lethal tempo. So
Okay.
yeah, got to be a little bit more traditional for better scaling. Rek'Sai really, really strong in the mid game. Camille, I think, will be able to this outpace this Volibear, and that's going to be something that needs to be answered for by Amazon.
Well, that being said, we are finally into the game just about. Raytheon Apollo on the blue side with Yoshi in the top lane, Kingmaker 4 in the jungle, Doctor Deathcap in the mid lane, Tappa in the AD carry role, and Jinja Ninja Power in the support position.
And on the red side, we have Amazon Rainforest Gap. We've got Brandohoy in the top lane, Multitasker in the jungle, Decker in mid lane, Logic Not Found in bot, and Captain Spidey in the support role.
Runes wise, Dr. Deathcap actually going for the Aftershock here, so not an aggressive pick. This one, typically you take Aftershock if you think you're going to go even or win lane. I don't think that's necessarily the case here, but if you're not comfortable with either Unsealed Spellbook or Predator, it just makes sense to go the Aftershock anyway. Um, Otherwise, runes are pretty standard. We mentioned the Sivir not going to go for the Duskblade build as she's got the lethal tempo. Anything else pop out at you, 1000?
We've got the Guardian on the Thresh. This is one that has been popping up more and more over the Aftershock, looking to get just a little bit more shielding onto your carries to survive that burst. Just to the basic premise of it is that you going in, you're not going to be the target generally. It is going to still be your allies. It's more of a peel focused protective type of Thresh, as opposed to kind of being your all in engage type.
As we take a look at the jungle pathing early, we see both junglers starting on the bottom side of the map. Looks like Rek'Sai positioning towards the full clear, as Hecarim might do full clear. Blue side might do buff grunt buff. It really depends on how he's feeling. Either way, with the early vision game benefiting Raytheon Apollo, they will know when the Hecarim decides to go for that red buff.
Yeah, I'm also a little surprised we haven't seen or we didn't see the Hail of Blades from the Rek'Sai. That has been one that has popped up here and there. It's really, really strong in the early game. Allows you to basically just outduel anybody and do a lot of early game damage and ganks. Yoshi hitting the level 2.
Yeah, you just gotta take it as the Volibear there. You had the ability to sustain back up. Excuse me. I'm tongue-tied a bit today. As we see level 2 bot side. Logic not found. Able to get a reset onto tap with the bomb there, but no kills quite yet. But as I kind of mentioned, Brando Hoy will have the ability to sustain back up off the level 2 here, so it's not too big a deal to lose on those early trades. However, still going to be in a rough position at the moment as Decker making Galio know that the lane is Syndra favored in the mid lane.
Yeah, Logic doing a real good job just jumping in on that level 2, knowing that Thresh couldn't really stop her from getting in. Tristana basically just able to really punish people level 2. And yeah, like you said, Brando Hoy just kind of looking to scale up in this, not looking to win this lane. Yoshi will be able to basically put this lane wherever he wants. If that is a push, if that is a freeze, it is going to be basically up to him.
We see Kingmaker actually have proximity up top side early. This is what we were expecting when we saw this Rek'Sai being picked up with this Camille and a Volibear matchup. They're going to see the Volibear recall here. Kingmaker just throwing out a Prey Seeker and trying to just keep them down here. I don't think they can actually make the dive happen, but I still think this is fairly smart, keeping them in lane for longer. Actually, they are going to look for the dive here.
Yeah, I don't know about this one.
They have to wait for it. Yoshi's got the stun, and in fact, the knockup from the Rek'Sai hits. First blood goes over. Yoshi stays alive. One more tower shot would have killed him, but the physical damage shields from the Camille passive actually made it possible for that dive to work out as logic. Goes ahead. We get a flash out of Spidey as well, but for a summoner heal on the flash, it's about an even trade in the bot side.
Yeah, Yoshi calculating that one out pretty effectively there, knowing exactly how many tower shots he could take, and even tanking up the stun. So really, really knowing the limits of the early tower dives there. Pays off in dividends for that first kill. Goes over to Rek'Sai, but the Sheen does come through onto Camille, and this is a huge, huge power spike for Camille. Compared to just the Ruby Crystal for Brando Hoy, that is basically just going to mean that Yoshi will outduel even in probably more extended types of trades, because that Sheen proccing over and over will just outdo the healing at this point in the game.
Yeah, especially with the grasp, right? You're just doing so much damage, and you're getting quite a bit of sustain now from those Q combos from Yoshi. That said, taking a look at the other lanes, we're looking about even in terms of CS. Sivir slightly ahead of the Tristana, not something we were expecting, but it's basically even there. And once again in the jungle matchup, because I think this is the really interesting part of the early game, Multitasker hasn't shown any presence, has just kind of been power farming on the Hecarim. I'm not exactly sure why he hasn't shown himself bot, but regardless, it's benefiting Raytheon Apollo quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think really the level 6 point is going to be the strongest point for Hecarim in terms of gank potential compared to the Rek'Sai. If the 2v2 happens where Rek'Sai is around when Hecarim ganks, Rek'Sai will outdo the Hecarim in that situation. But if you have the Onslaught of Shadows, if you have that extra CC and engage potential, it does swing it a little bit more in your favor.
Multitasker looking towards mid lane, but it's a hard gank on the Galio, so not looking for it yet. But we do see both ultimates available in that mid lane now with the Hero's Entrance and Unleashed Powers, so look for Dr. Deathcap to make a roam into one of these side lanes. Actually clearing some vision towards the top side at the moment.
Yeah. Brandon just ignoring, Yoshi.
Oh, wow. Oh, there's the Camille Galio combo. Volibear finds an ult down, but still taunted up, knocked up by the Galio as the Dragon Falls bot side. Yoshi! Hello? Traded back on the tower, so actually worth it for Brando Hoy. But he loses a late Kingmaker.
Yeah, unfortunately, just not getting enough in there. They tried to go for a similar dive as the first dive they made, but unfortunately did not calculate that one as well, and Yoshi does go down in the process. It's still favorable. Rek'Sai does get another kill, and getting that Prowler's Claw, which it does look like will be the build, that is going to be a really important buy for for Kingmaker. Yoshi, unfortunately, not getting as much out of it as he probably would like to, but you still take it. It's still a lot of farm missing. You still have the TP advantage against the Volibear right now. So you take what you get.
And it's also still Camille, so you have the ability to scale basically.
Oh, they're just bullying.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much Brandehoy can even do here. He doesn't have the ultimate, so he can't get really tanky, and Kingmaker picks up his third kill on the Rek'Sai. So this is exactly the game plan we were expecting for Raytheon Apollo to go for from the draft phase, right? You advantage your early lanes, you get the Rek'Sai ahead, you have the Galio roam up there. We didn't actually mention the Camille Galio combo, but this is one of the... I want to say it's a newer combo, but it's been around since Season 7, since the Galio rework, where you have this Hextech Ultimatum into the hero's entrance, and it just is really difficult to deal with in a team fight scenario if a team actually executes on it well. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, yes, Tristana has, you know, a plate advantage and some CS up, but she's not really that far ahead of the Sivir at the moment. In fact, only 200 gold. Multitasker, though, might be invading a bit on the Jinja Ninja. Pops the Onslaught of Shadows, might be able to get a kill back. Actually, Decker ends up taking that one away, but Dr. Deathcap got damage on a Multitasker, and without the Cinder are available, and with Tappa coming in with her own ultimate, trades that one back, and a support for Jungler does benefit the side of Raytheon Apollo as they try to keep on keeping on towards Decker. I think they'll look for something here. They have the ultimate of Yoshi, but they decide against it instead.
Yeah, don't want to over-engage on that. A one-for-one trade looked solid for Amazon, but unfortunately they committed so hard on it that everybody on Raytheon was basically able to say like, oh, they're diving deep in our jungle, let's turn around and help our team. So while Jinja Ninja power does fall, the response was quick enough to be able to just grab the Hecarim on the way out, making it just an even trade at the end of the day.
Jinja Ninja, in the meantime, getting some damage in with Tappa, as Logic Not Found was nowhere to be found down bot. So, hey, excuse me. I'm all over the place today. Solar Flare is used, but I don't think they're going to be able to get any kills off of this. In fact, Butcher's Shot does not complete onto Jinja Ninja power, so with that, it's two ultimates for a heal and an ignite. Not a great trade for Amazon Rainforest Gap, and with Kingmaker as strong as he is, might be looking bot side to punish.
I mean, it's not the worst trade as long. The ideal thing is going to be them basically being able to use those ultimates before those summoner spells come back up. A really good play from Jinja Ninja power to stop Tristana from jumping in as the root came in from Leona. Basically bought a lot of time, which meant Jinja Ninja power was able to get back under the tower before Tristana could actually finish the kill. So very, very crucial on that, and that will just be the reset now. Dragon going to be available in about 40 seconds. That's really going to be the next point where we're looking for teams to fight.
Kingmaker looking mid, but Captain Spidey's already here. So it's a 3v2. Taunt lands onto one. Kingmaker's out as this Dr. Deathcap. And it's a nice, actually, heads-up decision there just to disengage the fight. They saw Captain Spidey. They're like, nope, Chuck Testa.
No, Brando, just walk away, buddy. You don't win this.
I mean, he's not doing too terribly, but with
the
Kingmaker coming up, it's still...
Here's the thing, though. Every time Yoshi has engaged on a fight, it has been because he has extra help on the way. Like, he has not taken a fight in a 1v1 scenario, really. Ooh,
nice scatter of the week.
And that was very crucial, too, because if that scatter of the week did not hit, it would have just been the Prowler's Claw.
No, Unleashed Power does nothing. Void Rush used, as well as the Galio ultimate. They find the taunt onto 2, into the Winds of War, pick up 1 kill, now looking for another one onto Brando Boy. But JJ Ninja power is very, very low. Yoshi comes in with a hook shot, unable to connect onto Brando Boy as the Onslaught of Shadow stabs in the backline, but he's caught up with the Hextech ultimatum. Toppa picks up the kill, and it's 2-4-2 around this dragon. But more importantly, Amazon Rainforest Gap still pick up their second dragon of the game, and now they actually have a tempo advantage in this bottom side of the map off of that play.
Oh, I feel like Amazon could have played that even better and gotten more out of it there. Syndra does fall Syndra got the kill on Rek'Sai, I believe. And yeah, that is really, really crucial there. Like you said, the Unleashed Power did not do a whole lot, but Rek'Sai diving under tower, the Prowler's Claw did not actually do a whole lot for them. They're gonna stop that. Oh wow, that's unfortunate. They stop the Rift Herald before it actually gets the dash off. In that fight though, I was watching Logic, and Logic didn't really auto attack very much there, just kind of danced around the edge and did not try and get hits in when there were opportunities to, just kind of sat back and seemed really scared to get in. That's really concerning to me as we go into these mid-game fights, because without that Tristana DPS coming down, there's no way that they're actually going to eat through this front line here.
And speaking of mid-game, that does mean we have our one-item completions on a couple of champions. Actually, around the 10-minute mark, we saw the Prowler's Claw completed for Kingmaker, but now we have Gale Force on Toppa on the Sivir, Triforce on Yoshi, and with the Divine Thunder on Multitasker, and Kraken Slayer actually on Logic Not Found. Not a huge fan of the Kraken Slayer this game. I don't think there are enough true tanks to actually make that effective, and they might have a pick on a Dr. Deathcap actually. A nice flash to get out of that one.
Yeah, we'll flash just to keep safe here. I'm really glad to see the Prowler's Call Rek'Sai. I think that item really is just nuts on her, because she can use that while burrowed to basically put herself directly under you and then pop up immediately, and she gets bonus damage after using the Prowler's Claw on you. So
First
it is just
down bot side as well.
Yep. Tristana doing what Tristana does best, but will be traded up in this top side. So not surprising. Brando Hoy just kind of looking to stay alive at this point, looking to just be a body in the later points of the game.
Captain Spidey forces Toppa's flash into the solar flare. They should be able to get a kill down onto the thresh. Galio's here with the hero's entrance. Looking for them re-engage. Toppa's already popped beyond the hunt. The Everfrost is a swing and a miss. As the TP's being channeled from Decker. They have to be very careful about this one, and they back out of the way.
Yeah, and that is Everfrost on the Galio. As opposed to something like the Rocket Belt for the repositioning on the taunt. They just want to lock them up immediately. I'm a little surprised by that, because other than, you know, you have the Hextech Ultimatum and the Prowler's Claw and the Rek'Sai. Other than that, you don't have a whole lot of setup for the Galio to get into a fight or just like really be able to walk up. I guess technically you've got the Sivir ult as well to give that extra move speed, but I don't know. It feels to me like Rocket Belt is just too good of an item on him.
You there. I feel like Everfrost is a really, really good item right now, and yes, it gives you the additional mana, which is always nice to have on Galio, but at the same time, this is...
Rocket Belt just synergizes so well.
Yeah, exactly. Like, being able to reposition, being able to get the extra damage and extra wave clear when you're forced to split push is really, really nice. Grant you, I don't think Raytheon's going to actually go for a 1-3-1. They can with Yoshi and Deathcap, but I feel like it's more likely a 1-4 the way that Deathcap's been playing. Speaking of Deathcap, very close to dying to a Death Brush there.
Yeah, the pick potential is really scary here. The wards need to come out from Raytheon to be able to spot out where this Leona and Syndra are, because if you don't have a good idea of where they are, they can just kind of pop you from a bush, one stun onto somebody, then followed up by Leona. Like, there's a lot of ability to just completely obliterate a single person that is not paying attention.
Dr. Deathcap in the meantime. almost getting picked, but they pop the second Herald towards mid lane. I don't actually know if they're going to be able to get this one to crash or not. They're trying to escort it.
Just covering that backside. Should at least get one charge.
Oh, no. Nope. Oh, they got it.
Nope. It got the
Just
charge,
barely.
yeah.
Just barely. The position over towards this dragon, gold's about dead even right now, and it's going to be a tough one. I think this fight might actually be one of the deciding factors of this game if Amazon's able to win. They get a solar flare, caught up by the Everfrost on a 2-3-man taunt, get the kill on the Cinderus, the Hecarim dives to the backline, but they have already got 2 for 1. Captain Spidey in trouble, Dovenon by Yoshi, gets killed, but in the meantime, Yoshi goes down as Brando Boy's the last one of his team alive, dies to the Winds of War, plus Justin's Punch auto combo. 5 for 2 in favor of Raytheon Apollo, and they pick up their first dragon of the game.
Yeah, good counter engage from Raytheon there. The solar flare came down, but immediately everyone on Raytheon turned around, and Tristana and Syndra were way too far up in that fight. They got free access. The taunt came down onto the Syndra from Galio, and the Hextech ultimatum onto Tristana. After those two went down, it was just a clean sweep the rest of the fight.
I'm a little bit concerned now for Amazon Rainforest gap. I think with that, they're giving tempo away towards Raytheon. The mid game's about half over, so maybe they're going to be able to claw that one back out. But they go from even to 2k deficit, and now you're gotta put all your eggs in the Logic Not Found basket, and it doesn't look like Logic's been playing optimally this game.
Yeah, a couple mistakes so far this game, but has been playing really aggressive in the laning phase.
Solar flare down. Here comes the hero's entrance. They get the pick on a Captain Spidey at least.
That one wasn't required to happen though. I don't know why Captain Spidey used the Zenith Blade there. There was no reason to actually go in on that. Just use the solar flare and then back away, run back to your towers there. Unfortunately, using the Zenith Blade will mean that they lose a lot of pressure on the map right now. And Brando needs to make a little sneaky exit, but he's not gonna.
Ripperonis in pepperonis. Everfrost into the Shield of Durant. Tappa picks up the kill.
Yeah, and that's kind of been the story of the game so far. It's been basically just Amazon doing solid in lanes other than topside, like, which has been ganked incessantly. They've been doing like okay in lanes, but they've been pushing way too far up. They've been not paying attention to where people are, but multitasker.
Yoshi actually out that with the Hextech ultimatum, but Logic down here that gives the shutdown gold over. Only about 450, but it's always nice to have, and you'll take what you can get here.
Yeah, absolutely. You want that on the Tristana. Any extra gold is a blessing at this point because Sivir is very far ahead. Has the Gale Force, has the Sheen, and the Caulfields finished. So Tristana getting a little bit there, working on that Phantom Dancer right now. And now it is just going to be a little bit of a reset here. Should calm things down after the tempo is able to reset a little bit from that kill.
I mean, if they can find a way to get Logic onto 3 items, I think they actually have a pretty good window this game. I mean, they've held the gold lead at 2k since that dragon fight. And with dragon spawning in another minute 50, they should be able to get, Phantom Dancers completed. So with that, they have some opportunities here.
Yeah, the thing that worries me right now for Amazon is as a pick composition, when you are behind, it becomes incredibly hard to play because what you need as a pick comp is lane pressure to get wards down and then make those picks. But right now, Amazon don't have any winning lanes. They don't have any lanes that they could really push out safely. And that means they're not going to get that vision down. It means that they can't safely try and look for these picks. And these death ball fights that end up happening are always going to be more and more in favor of Raytheon.
I mean, it's a team fight comp versus a pick comp. Who wins in a team fight? I wonder. If you can force an uneven team fight, I think Amazon Rainforest Gap can actually win that, but it's difficult to force that when you have the weaker split pusher.
Well, there's also a real solid amount of disengage on Raytheon there. They can pop the Sivralt and just run away. The box will give them a little bit of space. Like, there's a lot of opportunities for them to just kind of, like, peace out if they get into a bad situation.
Raytheon, meanwhile, starting up the Baron. Should be spotted out here, but Yoshi not around. Actually, their Baron take isn't amazing. Sprendahoi is actually losing a trade bot side. Yeah, and they peel off the Baron. They know they're spotted.
Yeah, just trying to see if they can force the respect check. And Amazon do get that check down. We have a dragon spawning now, and because of that Baron call, actually, they do give away their pressure mid lane, which means dragon priority goes over to Amazon for the possible soul point.
They just melt this Kingmaker his way into the pit, though, looking for the steal, and he's not able to find it as he's knocked up by everyone on the team as Yoshi dives on the backline. Finds Decker, Logic not found, goes golden in the meantime as Tapa goes on a killing spree, able to get the kill onto the Syndra as Multitasker has to run out of the way. It's disastrous for Amazon. They find Soul Point, but they still lose 3 and are about to lose Kingmaker as well. Or, sorry, not Kingmaker, Multitasker as well. Trying to deny himself.
Buddy.
Nope. Yoshi picks up the kill. Not Baron for Raytheon Apollo.
Yep. The fight started off pretty solid because they looked like they were going to get onto Kingmaker, but Logic not found in Decker once again getting caught out in these fights. I haven't gotten a good look on like how exactly they are putting themselves in positions, but every time I look at them in fights and find them, they are getting hit by, you know, a Thresh Hook, by the Hextech Ultimatum. One way or another, they're getting caught out in these fights, and it is costing them the entire fight, and now it has cost them Baron.
Yeah, and with that, despite the soul point, which I think actually gives Amazon an out, right? They're on much more of a back foot than they were before that fight. I think going in, if they were able to get the dragon and get out, I think that was optimal, but after that, it's tough. It's really tough. But when Rek'Sai went in, they decided to engage, and that was the end of the fight.
Yeah, and it's just frustrating, too, because they set it up like they were a team-fighting team. They went to the dragon, they just kind of pulled it out and said, okay, guys, come at us. Fight us. Instead of setting it up, not starting it immediately, and forcing the checks. I get that it is hard to set up picks against a Rek'Sai. She's very good at just kind of catching those out with the Tremor Sense. But you can't, like, just make... Like, that doesn't mean you just go for team fights then. Like, your team just does not work well that way, especially with the way that your carries are positioning. It's frustrating to see them finally get, like, they got the tempo in the mid lane because they stopped that Baron push. They got the priority on the dragon, and then they used it like they were playing a completely different composition.
And both teams have already secured their playoff berths. I think that's the plus side here. But looking at a playoffs, I think Raytheon are looking much more cohesive at the moment, which is a little bit concerning if you're Amazon Rainforest Gap, right? At the moment, you're going to be seated kind of towards the middle of playoffs, as both teams are currently on 1 loss, so loser goes down to 4-2, winner goes up to 5-1. And this can be, or I should say towards the upper part of the middle of the bracket if you lose this game, so it's... You still have good shots of making it, you know, relatively deep, but it's a little bit concerning when you draft a pick comp and you don't execute on it well. You need to, at this point in the season, have the confidence, right, in your comps that you're picking to execute on them every single time.
Yeah, and like I'm looking also just at this Volibear pick, and it just has not been useful. It has not really accomplished a whole lot. Not only has it kind of failed to just not lose lane, it also, I have not seen them go for any kind of a dive with the Stormbringer. I've not seen them go for anything other than like, oh crap, we're team fighting, I'm just gonna ult into the fight.
I think in this case, it's one of those just pick Shen scenarios where
Yeah.
I think Shen is much better into Camille, and I think Shen fits their comp better. Yoshi almost caught out, but it's turned back around by the Hero's Entrance into the Hextech Ultimatum, and a swing and a miss on the Syndra stun. Decker has to flash out of the way. And the weak are not scattered, and Hecarim is dead for another 32 seconds.
Yeah, and Brando taking that fight, that's one of those times where you just aren't, you're not ahead. You're not winning in any way, shape, or form. You need to just back off of that fight. If Yoshi is fighting you, it is because Yoshi knows that he is capable of winning that, whether or not it is because he is just stronger and knows that it is going to be a solo 1v1, or because he has extra help coming in. Every single time Brando Hoy has gone for these fights, it is and Yoshi's opted into them, people have been ready to help out. So it's just it feels like Brando's a little tilted and just like saying like I gotta win this, I gotta turn this around and start beating this player. But that is just not how it has been working. Oh, this is like the looper TP.
Something like that. Decker.
Goodbye.
Unfortunately, he's out. Not too much you can do here. Toss a stopwatch, or I should say Zony's Hourglass, but kill goes over to Dr. Deathcap. At least it didn't go over to Yoshi, right? But with the dragon going down here, looks like Raytheon Apollo just have to make the march in to win at this point. Maybe we see a last-ditch effort come out from Amazon Rainforest Gap. I think Logic Not Found still has the potential to turn a fight if they position properly.
Yeah, I don't think this will be the end just yet. Logic does have the GA. Just gotta make sure you die in a good spot here. Sivarold is popped.
Ninja Power might be in a little bit of trouble, but Captain Spidey gets turned back around by Kingmaker. Dr. Deathcap is around, almost has the Hero's Entrance available now.
That was the big thing. Yeah, they did not have the Galio ultimate ready, so it was just a legitimate 4v4, and not a terrible fight for them. Do get the box out, do get the Sivir ultimate out for the time being. So a good trade ultimately for Amazon Rainforest.
That's 30 seconds on the Baron. And this is a little bit spicy. I think Amazon Rainforest Gap, if they can somehow find a pick before Baron, they might be able to actually do something, but I think that's their only kind of like miracle win condition right now, is find a pick and win a 4v5.
Yep,
So
that's basically all you can really do at this point, and I think right now Brando should be more with the team. I think having Brando in this side lane, like, okay, Yoshi's leaving now, so it's a little bit better, but I don't think you want to have Brando versus Yoshi in any position where they actually have the possibility of fighting. It will end up costing them big time play.
Play up Captain Spidey. We see the TP coming in from Brando. Nice scatter the weak on it too. Into the Solar Flare. Over the wall goes Logic Not Found. Has to flash out. Dr. Deathcap's already in with the Hero's Entrance. Excuse me. And a couple of ultimates used to flash as well. And both teams peel off the Baron.
Yeah, that's the Hero's Entrance down, though, which is a longer cooldown ultimate. The flash, obviously, not having that on Logic is less than ideal, but I feel like having the Hero's Entrance down again for basically free, I mean, I would take that.
I mean, if you're able to get resets on your rocket jump, do you really need flash? Come on. Yeah. Don't answer that question. The answer is yes, because of Flay, but hush. Yoshi, going for a little bit of poke there as both teams fight for mid-prio.
Yeah, Dragon going to be spawning in about 2 minutes. Once again, soul point for Amazon. That would be a huge, huge buff for them to get. They want to have a little bit more in-fight power to be able to just soak up some of that damage.
Onslaught of Shadows used defensively, but they're into the Hextech Ultimatum already, and the Everfrost gets onto two members. Dr. Deathcap on a rampage as they find the GA of the Tristana. Decker also goes down. Captain Speedy, not long for the world. Neither is logic not found for Tristana, not found more like it. That's a 4-4-0. This should be the end of the game now. As Brando Hoy, last ditch Stormbringer still taken down by Tapa and GWP. Raytheon Apollo goes ahead and goes into playoffs with the 5-1 record.
Yeah, and a very solid win, too. There wasn't a lot of room for AMZN to make mistakes. Every time they did, it was just punished very hard. A lot of really hard pressure up on that top side. Early on, Kingmaker really punishing this top lane and getting Yoshi ahead. Actually getting himself ahead. And then Brando just really not being able to respect the camp that was occurring. I do respect a lot of AMZN's ability to kind of just get some pressure in these lanes. There was a little bit of they were able to stop that Baron, get over to the dragon, get that pressure, and understand they needed to get those waves up to take that dragon. But unfortunately, they kept putting themselves in a position where there were team fights when they really didn't want to force team fights. They wanted to just sit there and get the picks first. So big congratulations. Kingmaker absolutely just popping off this game.
Yeah, just congratulations. I think it also comes down to playing to your win condition. Raytheon Apollo did that, whereas AMZN Rainforest didn't feel like they were comfortable with it. Going into playoffs, that's not a good look for a team, even if you're towards the top side of the bracket, so hopefully they're going to be able to work out whatever that was for that. That being said, though, we're going to take a break as we get ready to go for our collegiate series in about 15 minutes here. Don't go anywhere. We will be back with more Corporate Esports Association.